For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. As always, we go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and if it is necessitated, we'll take a few extra minutes, maybe to facilitate calls or to go through some of your WhatsApp messages. It all depends on my mood too. Of course, you'll be able to call at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Amanda is here. She's on set, and she'll be going through some of your comments in the chat room as we exchange pleasantries and say hello to one and all. Those of you who are watching from North America, from Europe, there's one particular lady who's watching, and she is in some remote part of the world. She is in Africa. There's some people watching from Hawaii as well. We trust that you had yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend, and you're all set for the challenges that would come your way during the course of this week. We hope that they will not be insurmountable and you'll be able to meet them head on. We have a lot of things to discuss during the course of our program this afternoon. No doubt you will take the opportunity to determine the issues that you would like to highlight when we open the lines during the course of the broadcast. We'll be speaking about the halls of justice and what transpired on Friday. I have always appreciated the fact that NewsSpin has given people the latitude, the freedom to call and speak on any issue that is impacting them. Because too often you sit behind a microphone and you determine as the host of a program that this is the direction that it ought to take. But what do you have to do from time to time? Let me give you my little media lecture. Is to give people that responsibility to be your eyes and your ears, and to a certain extent, even your conscience. They're out there, and organically, there's some things that they're experiencing that you might not be aware of, and they share it with you. And the program takes a totally different direction. And that is why we have stuck to this format, stuck to this model, from the time the broadcast came on the air in 2002. And it has worked miraculously. So you'll be hearing from an individual who called. And he said to me to the effect that he's reliable. I can trust him on a particular issue. He did pose the question to me about plans to relocate the halls of justice. So initially, it was scheduled to be located on the site of the old courthouse area there. And that is on the corner of Library Street and Miko Street. And the individual, as we'll demonstrate in just a moment, said that there are plans now to relocate the halls of justice, at least some of the various buildings and structures that would be focusing on certain aspects of the law, because the halls of justice will be looking at matters relating to crime, also civil law, and the family court as well. So it's the criminal court, also you're looking at the family court and the civil court as well. So I think we have a clip that is all ready where the individual did call to make what turns out to be a disclosure on this very important project of EC $165 million. And before we go to the individual, let me take you back to this sword-turning ceremony. Very interesting. You had this sword-turning ceremony which occurred April the 19th of 2024. A lot of fanfare. The Prime Minister and other officials had their hard hat on and shovels and all that. And this allowed the scene to play out. And maybe you could hear a few chuckles and, people in a celebratory mood as well. So we'll start it over. Yeah.
Here we go. All right. Round of applause, everyone.
Well-publicized the sword-turning ceremony at the original location, and this occurred on April the 19th of 2024. So we fast forward now to last Friday, and it turns out this famous call that we received on the broadcast regarding the halls of justice and plans to change the location where the structure will be set up.
Tim, I'm aware that the halls of justice, yes sir, I'm in you. Tim, I'm aware that the hall of justice is not going to be constructed immediately north of the cathedral. Are you aware?
No, I've not heard anything to that extent.
So I've been reliably informed that the new location of the halls of justice would be against the old education building onto the Voyagers lot. So it's across the road. It's going across that short lane there behind the bank that goes to the back of the bank. And it's no longer going to go across Library Street. as originally set out. So that means two things.
It's basically between,
I know
it'll be the corner of Labrie Street and the boulevard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that takes it into a new perspective, Tim. One, there's an additional cost because I understood the Voyager site had to be acquired at the cost of over $17 million. So that's not taken into account the cost of the building. Also, Tim, I'm aware that side is smaller. The actual location would be smaller than the original location. Would you agree?
Yes, from my vantage point, it would appear so.
Okay, so why are we not told so? And this is not a decision today, today Friday. I'm understanding that was a decision made a couple of months ago. So why isn't the government telling the people those things?
And now, famous, or maybe infamous NewsSpin caller, he called the broadcast last Friday, and that is to make that revelation. And again, why the authorities, considering that there is this sword tuning ceremony on the 19th of April last year, speeches delivered by the Prime Minister, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry for Economic Development, the MP for Castries Central, the Chairman of NIPRO, and clearly stating that this is where the structure would be constructed. And then, according to the MP for Castries Central and Local Government Minister, we'll be hearing from him in just a moment, the government, quote, took into consideration concerns that were expressed by members of the legal fraternity. He did not mention, I think he mentioned the Catholic Church as well. But the opposition took issue with it. And in particular, Mrs. Sarah Flood Bobra, who is a former MP for Castries Central, she's an attorney as well, said that the Development Control Authority should come forward to explain whether it had granted approval for the Halls of Justice to be constructed on that site. And also there was talk of possibly having some kind of injunction to prevent the authorities from doing so. Incidentally, she made that comment during an appearance on DBS's Newsmaker Live on the 31st of October, 2024.
Using this opportunity again to ask the DCA, to ask the National Trust, where are the reports? I'm not an engineer, so I need an engineer to tell me, where are the reports, where are the environmental studies, where there are the structural and engineering studies that have been done to say that this construction there will not compromise a 127-year-old historic minor basilica. This would end all of this back and forth. Why are you hiding the reports? And caller, don't you want to be assured that the change that is happening is for the better? Where are the reports? St. Lucians should demand the report. I am thinking that any St. Lucian would have the locus standi to ask for an injunction right now to stop what's going on there and have the reports produced. We need to know what's happening. This is a travesty, Timothy. We need to know what's happening. We need the environmental impact assessment, and we need to know that the DCA has given planning. Otherwise, this construction should stop forthwith.
This did not prompt any official of the Development Control Authority to come forward and to issue a statement. Once again, you just heard from Mrs. Sarah Flood Bobra speaking during an appearance on the DBS program Newsmaker Live in October of 2024. Again,
2024.
2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. 2024. why the government of St. Lucia, through the MP for Castries Central and local government minister, had to react to this particular issue. Primarily because somebody, a citizen, called this program basically to inform us that there's been a change. And he said there's been several months, because the minister said also that cabinet has met on the issue, and what they've decided is in the interim to give consideration to considering this area there in the William Peter Boulevard, which previously housed the Voyagers and the Gaiety Cinema. The government of minister is looking at this issue closely. So, for one can deduce from that the halls of justice will not be constructed in the area close to or adjacent to the Catholic Church, the minor basilica of the Immaculate Conception. Inform the people. You are taking certain decisions that would affect the people in one way or the other, and you are not informing them. So, up until Friday, people were going about the business, and they of the impression that the halls of justice would have been constructed at the original site, the one that was initially proposed, where they had the sword turning ceremony, etc. Only to find out later from a citizen who was not elected by the people of this country, has no business representing their interest anyway, coming forward to make that disclosure. Can you imagine the kind of confusion that this would cause? And so, the minister had to call this program, much maligned NewsSpin program, to clarify. Here is Minister Richard Frederick, who is also the MP for Castries Central.
I heard a contribution from one of your callers saying that we had bought land for $17 million. I want to let St. Lucians know categorically that this is an untrue statement, and I will tell you exactly what happened. The halls of justice, after it was announced and we were on suite to do what we were supposed to have done, there were reservations expressed not only by the Catholic Church, but by other members of the legal fraternity. And out of deference to the legal fraternity, we figured that, there's an old saying that the way Sevel plihu pasi Zoe plihu pasi bush. So in other words, notwithstanding your own personal conviction, you must listen and take on board the concerns of others before you proceed. Now, you would remember, team, I'm sure you remember, but sometimes I know you prefer to forget out of convenience. You would remember that Alan Shastley had asked the Archbishop one time to apologize. We are not doing that. We are not that kind of government. I'm not in a government led by a man who does not understand what it is to listen to the cry of the people, whoever those people are. And so when the Archbishop, when the Catholic Church, first of all, expressed concern over the location in terms of the proximity to our main church in Central Castries, the cathedral that is, there were several meetings, government representatives of the legal fraternity, persons from DCA, persons across the board were there at least to offer some kind of advice to the decision-making body. The government, that was not then taken to cabinet. Cabinet listened and cabinet understood what the cry was. I'm sure you will understand that even the leader of the opposition himself, he was one who himself was creating rancor in terms of the location of the building in relation to the church. So cabinet decided, look, Our legal fraternity is one that we respect as a government. We don't want to get into any kind of fights with them. Let us take on board what their concerns are and let us adjust accordingly. As fate would have it, a Judas property became available and we were asked to make an offer. Cabinet decided, look, let us respect the church and let us amend the drawings to facilitate the establishment of the halls of justice in that location. I can tell you that no deal has been sealed, none whatsoever, fairest price, but the decision has been taken to move forward with negotiations with a view of acquiring the asset for the government and people of St. Lucia. Not for a private entity, but for the government and people of St. Lucia. In that way, government is happy, people will be happy, and the legal fraternity, of course, will understand that this is a government that respects their wishes and their views and would not ask them to apologize. So this is what transpired.
MP for Castro Central, Local Government Minister Richard Frederick, calling last Friday's NewsSpin program. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. I think we have our first call in line via WhatsApp as we say hello. Good afternoon to you. You are
hello,
on there. Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
Good noon to you and good afternoon to a man.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah. From what I can see, and not just now, is that the SLP, they tend to do things back to front. Not only that, they'll come and make a big show of something they're gonna do, and then after then, you'll hear they say after a while they wanna meet, with people and get people's concern or whatever. I'm saying those things should be done first. I think those things should be done first before one come and break ground for something like for the Roman Catholic Church so close to where they wanted to put the Hall of Justice. Shouldn't they admit the Roman Catholic Church executive or whatever it is, and other people who are concerned, and get that straightened out first, because it's going to cost money to a year now. Then you have to, go back and redo plan, probably make the drawing small or whatever. So money that's the gentleman said they're looking at a piece of property and so on to acquire it for the people and the government of St. Lucia. What about Mr. Chesney was going to put the Hall of Justice? Why can't he go there? Is it because it at that spot, then they don't believe that? Okay. So, to me, as if the SLP is doing things by the arse, that kind of thing. And that's wasting money. It's just, I think, yesterday I was saying, there's a place in Vieux-Fort, they were going to put some building just before the 2016 election. I mean, just before. And then they brought, I think, $10 million to just come and do back, just before election. And certain thing was done. The soil, the watery place.
Okay, ma'am, my apologies to you. Your call is breaking up, and that's affecting the quality of your contribution. Let's see if we have another call in line. As we say hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim, and how are you?
I'm okay, caller. How about you?
Not too bad. And how is Amanda?
Good afternoon, Cole. I'm all right.
Okay, Tim. The lady, the last caller there, she made a very good point. The place by the police station, police headquarters, that was already marked for the halls of justice. Okay? Why doesn't the government continue with building the halls of justice there instead of going and burden taxpayers with another set of money to buy property when there was already property allocated for that? And these politicians, they say in our favor, the money don't come from their pocket. The original site is not good. Okay, you all have another plan. Why you all want to go and purchase another set of property when there was property? You see, the government, the thing is with these politicians, when one win, they want to stop what the other one do because it's not them suffering. We, the taxpayers, are suffering. People of St. Lucia, they don't care. It's not their money they're spending. This is ridiculous. You're going to pay how much $1 million for property when there was already a thing located to put the halls of justice? Just because of what? One man you all hate so much, Alan Chasney, and putting St. Lucia into more debt? After you already have to pay the Trinidad company, every company there, how much money for the halls of justice in that going on? You're going to now purchase a property for how much? Millions again, man? St. Lucians, wake up, man. These things get me upset, Tim. Goodbye, Tim.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's see if we have another call. Hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
I can deviate a little bit. No?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So going, well, the first lady spoke about backward government putting the horse before the cat before the horse. You know the Volkswagen vehicles we used to get long ago, Tim?
Yeah.
I realize these days some of them, the engines are at the front, but most of them, of all the engines, would be in the back. And this is a Labour government for you. They carry the. I attended an event, and engines in. Before I even speak about the event, I remember Big Al, this entertainer, was giving an interview saying how he's a flambo, but he's going to give Labour a second chance. And he's talking about Kenton Kazemi and doing so well in sports. Tim, I passed by a playing field in Bellevue. Now, I can tell you that place is so small that you cannot host a national event there. In other words, you're going to have a national football team or a normal football match team. You cannot host it there because it is too small. It does not reflect the game itself. You cannot have anything there but maybe infant school and preschool sports team because the place is too small. But yet still you have Musa putting lights, and these lights are worth a lot of money, Tim. I have no problem with you try to make the little field look nice. But how can you take so much money to put lights on a playing field where you cannot even host a national event there, Tim? How we not in a country where we are so advanced, so ahead, where we can afford to waste resources like that, Tim? And that is not the only place this is happening. Because I've heard about other small playing fields where they are trying to say they're upgrading, making it look nice and whatever. And so, I don't have a problem with you making the field look nice. But for you to go and spend the amount of money that needs to be spent on other facilities that have already been built that will host international and national events, Tim. So, for example, you have the Deriso playing field that was developed underneath Alan Chasney. They were supposed to, the stands, everything I understand was already there. They were supposed to put those stands up, Tim. There was an outdoor part of it where it was supposed to be like an outdoor gym. They were supposed to complete the playing field, Tim, and fix up on the sides of the turf and everything. Tim, this is the place that they're using to host almost all the national matches we have in football-wise. Yes, still, they kept it the same way from the time they came into office.
Okay,
I went to Sufra yesterday.
with regard to such projects, do you think that those people who are undertaking them are consulting the people, stakeholders in the various communities and even at the national level, sporting organizations?
Okay. I'm going there, Tim. That's where I was going. Like you read my mind. So I went to Sufra yesterday. They had the so-called Island Champs. Tim, the first thing about that event, they were supposed to consult white society, to just get to know if it was better on a Sunday and whatnot. That was not done. So here's what was done. They put it on a Sunday, and then now they circulated, the emails asking for religious groups and so on and so forth to come and sit down to consult. Now, hear the thing about it. They had already put the day on a Sunday. And then they're asking people to come and consult him. What are you consulting about? Yeah. When you have already made up your mind to have it on a Sunday. And I know what I'm telling you. I went at the event, team. The event, it was a mess. The first thing is the place, and that was done so nice. You're telling me I'm going inside. There's no area where the African change. All set up there is something.
Definitely, we have some issues this afternoon with our telecommunications provider. I hope we could rectify that problem before we conclude. Are you still there, caller? Okay, we have lost the caller. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room. As we say, good afternoon to you, Amanda. What's happening in the chat room?
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. A few comments from the chat room. Someone says here, why is it that everything the SLP attempts is either unfinished, it's a non-starter, or opened and promptly closed? A NewsSpinner says there, now they have to admit that what Shasney told them all along was right. Another comment reads, so which means they have to pay for a new plan as well. SLP knows how to waste people's money. They forget they have their Mali ways to feed. Someone says there, do you really expect the DCA to explain anything? A commenter reads, I would like to know why didn't Stevenson King call instead of Richard Frederick? Isn't he the Minister of Infrastructure? A NewsSpinner says there, Sarah is a powerful woman. When she speaks, she demands change and it happens. Her voice carries weight. Another commenter reads, election is coming and the Labour government is desperate. Well, from my experience, projects don't win elections unless St. Lucians are very wicked and biased. The commentator reads, best place for the halls of justice is next to the prison in Dennery, so the quality engineers can smell what prison life smells like. Another comment reads, Team 17 million, 5 million, 160 million plus monies to change the plans all in all to be political and not go where Shasney wanted to put it in the first place. And we aren't even asking the question that is very important, which is where are they going to use as parking for all those judges, lawyers, jurors, security, and all other people that will be occupying this building. This is one of the crosses that the country and its people have to go through for a government that's too political for its own good. St. Jude's will be another cross soon. A NewsSpinner says there, I thought the government would have discussions with the Catholic Church before they went ahead and made plans to construct the church. That is really putting the cart before the horse. Another comment reads, I suspect it is family planning that approved these plans for the halls of injustice. And a NewsSpinner says there, this is truly criminal. We have the spot of the old prisons already, but instead these guys prefer to buy another property for millions of dollars at a time when we are literally in the jaws of International Monetary Fund. When are we going to stop this government from putting us further into unnecessary debts? Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Some more updates coming up during the course of this program, NewsSpin. What's the message? Something happening during the piling of that site which indicated that the site was not conducive for such a structure and caused the cessation. that testing should have been done prior. Negligence on their part. Now using excuse about consideration for church and legal fraternity. Since when if there is consideration for other entities, and if so, they should have considered before the work started and millions spent. These things cannot just be swept under the rug and no one held to account. Solutions, think for yourselves. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello.
Mr. Timothy Poleon. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Just calling to. Yes.
Yes. Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Calling on Friday, but I didn't get through. With regard to the hogwash I heard from Mr. Richard Frederick on the halls of justice. This debacle should have been exposed a month ago. The information was received, but I guess we were all caught up in doing a few things, so the information didn't come out a month ago. But here you have a government who basically campaign on transparency and putting people first, right? And here we have a situation where if the caller did not call about the change in the whole scope of the halls of justice, probably we wouldn't even know, and we would have just see the building going up in the Ajuda lot, and nobody would know. At what point would they say that to people? And I want St. Lucians to sit back and think about that. See that this St. Lucia Labour Party government continue to piss in our eye and call it rain. And the time to hold them to make them account is now, because Tim, I don't think we can continue for too long with this kind of madness we see happening in this country. The St. Lucia Labour Party government, in my humble view, is about the most dishonest government that I have seen, and they continue to take the people for a ride. You know why? Because they have a 15-2 majority. But I call in on St. Lucians. The time is now. We need to correct that. We need to right this wrong that happened in 2021. So we need to come out in droves, in numbers, in scores, and all of us, whether you are a supporter of the Labour Party or a supporter of the United Workers' Party, you need to start thinking of the future and your life and the future of your children. So here is the opportunity to make that vital change so that you could stop being taken for a ride. So I'm calling on all St. Lucians again to look at the St. Lucia Labour Party for what they present to you and make that difference when the time is right. Tim, I thank you.
Thank you so much. You just heard there from Mr. Peter Chico. He is the United Workers' Party candidate for Castries East. Still to come, somebody is being described as an honorary white. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It's called NewsSpin.
KFC has done it again! Introducing the Wow Box, the ultimate meal deal that'll have you saying wow! For just $23, you get one crispy, juicy KFC sandwich, one piece of finger-licking good chicken, a serving of hot golden fries, more flavor, more crunch, more wow! All in one box! Hurry to KFC and grab yours now! Dine in, drive-thru, or order online at kfcslu.com. KFC, it's finger-licking good!
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for Toombs. Call us in Vidbutai at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, or send an email to customersupport@lucelec.com for assistance. Lucelec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
I've seen you here before, and I have something special just for you. What have we here? Happy housewarming to me? That's the MNC Home Depot Rewards Card. You'll earn points every time you shop, plus exclusive savings and promotions just for you. Just for me? Yes, just for you. Shop in store or online and enjoy a seamless experience. So I get to treat myself every time I shop? Exactly. It's time to reward yourself.
MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Rewards Card. Sign up and reward yourself today at www.mnchomedepot.com.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vidbutai. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. And let me go through some of your comments. Somebody says, I would like Mr. Norbert to come out and say how much will it cost just to fix the road for Jazz Vierge in Miku. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, the thing about these Labour Party solutions, I have to know that solutions have to know and should learn them, guys. Anything the previous government put there will not touch it because the money already there, so they can push. Okay, all right, let's not go through this and cast aspersion. Another one says via WhatsApp, if taxpayers' money is being used for this location, why isn't the public informed about the cost, new location, and justification for the move? Where is the transparency? And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Tim, the new property for the halls of justice does not belong to a Judah. It belongs to the... Okay, we'll have to prove this one. Another WhatsApp message. Let's see if we could go through some of them. And this one reads, is it a case of the SLP cannot get money for their campaign, so they are sourcing it somewhere else and they are using the Hall of Justice? Just asking. Nothing makes sense. The campaign ad with AI Prince the caller is referring to is a campaign ad to attract the gay community. And let's see. More WhatsApp messages to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, there isn't anything the MP for Castro Central says I will believe. It can't be true. I will still not believe him. He is not credible. Well. The Prime Minister himself is not credible as well. In fact, the Cabinet of Ministers doing an injustice to themselves, because I believe that there are people who are respected, but it's the head of the table that is the problem. We have a call. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi. Hi, good day, Tim. How are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
All right, Tani Mani, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, caller.
Honestly, Tim, as a young person, I believe it's time that our ministers, our persons who are in authority, start to create a plan, a national plan, a national scope, for the island. And I know in time of, I mean, my politics isn't 100%, but I know in times of Compton, and I can't remember if it is Dovey, there was some sort of semblance of a plan that was put together for the city of Castries. I really wish the next government would revisit that, maybe tweak it and make things happen, because as a young person, I'm seeing things that could happen. For example, putting a bus terminal in cul-de-sac, bringing the pots to cul-de-sac for shipping, putting a tunnel through the Bad Lil so that you could cut the time to travel to Vieux-Fort, and that you could reach in Castries and reach to cul-de-sac and take those containers to Vieux-Fort without traversing the Bad Lil. You understand? And having that because we so cheap in St. Lucia, but having, once you pass through the tunnels, you pay a toll, whether it's $1 or $2 or whatever, you pay a toll.
Yeah.
So that these monies can resurface and can pay back itself. When you look at the St. Jude's Hospital, everybody feel that, it's a loss that the new St. Jude's wasn't completed. Or, that the old St. Jude's, because of historical background, should be the one built on. But what if we say, okay, let us build the new St. Jude's, have the old St. Jude's, you understand, functional as a hospital, and instead of going and build a fifth wing to the OKEU hospital, have OKEU and St. Jude's under one management. So anytime you have an overflow at OKEU, you can send the people down to St. Jude's and use the new part of St. Jude's. Use it as needs be. You have an international airport there. What if, God forbid, something happens, a plane crash there? Where are you bringing those people? At least you have that standby hospital that can come on stream once a mass casual event happens. Watch what happened with Renault. You understand? And put in technologies, that can make St. Lucia a better place, make our people better, healthcare, improve on it through St. Jude's. Why do we always, as a nation, have to look at the cup as being half empty? You understand? When it comes to Castries, you have that Masha River. Why don't we cover the Masha River? put a road on it, and then you have access all the way to the back of Castries, bring you directly on the chaussee. So in Castries, in that area, you probably have a 4 or 5 lane road, including the Masha River, that would allow you to traverse the city much better. I mean, there are times I come from Dennery, because I'm from Dennery, and times I come into the city, and sometimes I have to walk down the hill, walk down the Mon Hill, because traffic is so bad into the city for me to reach at work on time. And don't even talk about the afternoon time when you have to leave the city. And then you walk around and you're saying, what is causing the traffic? And it's simple things. It is times which we try to bypass the city. The same road we're talking about from Dennery to Bexau, we can have that same road, another tunnel bringing you up to Babono, because behind Dennery is Babono, and bring you up to Rodney Bay. So you have that direct link that you don't have to traverse through the city and cause useless traffic. You understand? So there's a lot that can be done. GPH, you'll have them. Basically, I see GPH wasting our tax money because SLASPA had already invested in on the ports. Why don't the government of St. Lucia stop being lazy, utilize SLASPA, get some loans, and fix up Port Castries? Because you don't have to fix up the how do you call that area? La Place Carinage is one side, and then the other side. You don't have to fix up the other side. Yes, the other side is perfect. All you have to fix up is the La Place Carinage side. Okay? Once you fix up that side, you have a better aesthetics. You can bring in the market, bring in those people, those vendors that are in the market, build something for them on the port that if the tourists don't want to even leave the port, they don't even have to. But if they leave the port, you have other places in the city that is attractive, that makes them want to come and see the city. There's a lot that can be done. Right now, Castries looks like a ghetto, Castries honestly looks like a ghetto. Every time I come to Castries, I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed, but it's my country. So I try to lift up my head and say, you know what? One day Castries will live up to its name and look like a beautiful place. But right now it's not that, And it's not always those glass buildings and tall buildings that make a city a city. The French colonial nice designs, they had nice designs. So why don't we bring that back into the design of Castries? You have that building opposite Bank of St. Lucia. They're not even cleaning that building. That look like that's getting mold, all kind of thing. You understand? So we need to rethink. There's a lot that can be done with St. Lucia. And we have to stop looking at the glass as being half empty. We have to stop thinking that, because we're small, we don't have resources. We have a lot of resources. Solar. You understand? The wind turbine. Right now, I'm in Denver and I'm telling you, there's so much wind on the East Coast. Let us try to develop ourselves, develop our young people. Because trust me, if we do that today, if we do the investment today, tomorrow will be a better day. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate the contribution, sir. I think there's merit in a lot of things that you highlighted there. We have another call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Tim, good day. Good day, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay, caller. How about you?
I'm good, Tim.
You turned out being correct on this particular issue, sir. You turned out being correct before you continue.
Okay. Well, Tim, I knew I was correct. I tell you, don't challenge me, Tim. And don't worry, Richard Frederick. Let me tell you, I'm standing at the site now. In fact, I send you a short video for your show.
I'll look out for it.
I'm standing on the site now, and I've just spoken to a worker there, and what they're doing is refilling the site to its original position, to its original condition. Sorry.
That is the area. Hold on, caller. That's the area immediately opposite the church.
Yes, north of the cathedral.
Okay, the original site.
So when Richard Frederick, tell Richard Frederick for me, please. When I make a comment on NewsSpin, I don't listen to his show because his show is just a show. Don't come and mislead people on NewsSpin because his show is different from NewsSpin. NewsSpinners are smart people. So don't come and twist any story, especially when it comes from reliable people. Okay, so I'm standing there now. If you want him, you can check the video I sent you. I've just spoken to a man on the site, and that's where I'm standing now. So I hope Richard Frederick is listening. Next time I call, probably Richard Frederick should explain, after he stopped the housing project, he should explain to the people why he shouldn't be the one paying the cost, the extra cost that it would cost the taxpayers when he returned the project to the same Fresh Start who was working illegally on it, according to him. Probably you should explain those things. But don't try to explain, don't try to come and confuse people. Leave that for your first day night or a show. Thank you very much, Tim.
All right, thank you so much for calling, sir. We have another call online. Hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Hello, good day, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Good day, Tim.
Hi, is that Mr. Rosh Clark?
Good day, everyone.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Tim, I would just like to make a contribution. And once again, thanks for having me on. Tim, what we the people deserve is transparency. The fact that there hasn't been an initial statement or clear explanation about the potential change speaks volumes on the state of our leadership. I think it's essential that we address the elephant in the room. And it's not just the halls of justice, though. It's a bigger pattern. Our small businesses, our vendors, our everyday workers, they're all being neglected, disrespected, and ignored time and time again. We've seen policies roll out of thin air, policies roll out without proper consultation. How can we trust that the voices of our people matter when we're not even given the courtesy to have an explanation? This isn't just about a building, it's about the lives of the hardworking people in our community. They deserve better than just being treated as afterthoughts. Tim, with the quote-unquote potential relocation of the halls of justice, will there be a redesign to the original plan? Will there now be a setback to getting DCA approval? Has the government conducted any feasible studies on the impact of relocating this project? Will there be a new geotechnical investigation? What is the total cost breakdown of the halls of justice now? Has it changed from its initial estimates? Who makes these decisions? And why is it that none of us are being engaged on how this affects us? What safeguards are being considered for our vendors and our local workers on this move? We're seeing this time and time again. No accountability, absolutely no transparency and no respect. And the sad truth, Tim, is that this exactly concludes to corruption. Corruption that seeps into our government. When you elect leaders who care more about their power and control than what they do to serve the people, we all lose. The soul of our capital is suffocating under this non-democratic dictatorship style of government, where decisions are just made behind closed doors. I myself call it the El Guapo regime. It's a perfect example of what happens when government doesn't work for the people. But here we are, once again, going through this time and time again. It's the same cycle. We, the people, have the power to change this. If we elect leaders who are accountable to us, who will listen to us, who will stand up for the integrity of our city, we can take back our community. We deserve a government that treats us with dignity and respect, and not the kind of leadership that is on the run, doing as they please, and everyone just has to accept that. Tim, I just wanted to make that contribution here today.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. You just heard there from Mr. Rosh Clark, who is the United Workers' Party candidate for Castries Central in the upcoming general election. Let me take the opportunity to turn over to Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon again, Tim. A commentary reads, caller from the time of Kenny Anthony as Prime Minister. He hated everything Mr. Compton did and wanted to change everything. So government after government continued to do the same thing. They do not want to continue anything that was started by the previous government. These men will run St. Lucia broke, just like the community they represent. A NewsSpinner says here, caller tell Al the field in Opicor is worse. Goats are playing football on that field. It's better he changed his mind about Musa and put him out. Another commentary reads, these guys made so much noise about Chaffney breaking down the old prison for political reasons, so they will never go to that old site. And this is the most suitable site. Someone says there, one thing, we want a functional hospital this year. This hospital will cause many governments to lose elections. These boys do not understand health is the best thing a country needs to have. If not, we will be like monkeys in the jungle. What happened, happened. A commentary reads, the Labour Party has no vision. It is sad. Hacks can't see the wickedness of their leader. Our for FLP Lucians. They are just very naive and they love SLP more than their country. Simple. A NewsSpinner says there is a total travesty. The unnecessary expenses this SLP is putting us through. Now the comment reads, elected officials say they enter politics because it's a calling from God and they care about the people. Let's pay elected officials a minimum wage and see who stays around to help the people. Someone says here, I am hoping that the legal fraternity and the church recognize the importance of their advocacy and stop allowing governments to take advantage of the citizens in the country. The silence which has characterized them during the time when our constitution was being violated, should never be allowed to take root again. They have a responsibility to citizenry as guardians of social justice, and they must not compromise their integrity. Another commentary reads, speaking of the airport, the government needs to come out and tell us the real reason why they stopped the construction of the airport tower. And in the chat room here, a NewsSpinner says, we need transparency from the government. Too many secretive deals here, there, and everywhere. Back to you, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. So we have the video that the caller made reference to, trying to bring the old site to its original state, and we'll allow the image to speak for itself. So you are watching, there's a bulldozer that's on the scene, etc., with workmen and women working on that particular area that the caller made reference to. All right, somebody says there via WhatsApp, I have a problem with insurance companies. They merge with private sector entities, and when it comes to medical claims, it's always from both parties to the employees. We say we should need to start exposing these questionable actions from those businesses. Guess it's just a cash cow system. And let's see if we have any other of your WhatsApp messages. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon to you, caller. I'm okay.
Yeah, Tim. I think the question that needs to be asked, we're not asking it,
What's that?
Concerning the halls of justice and many other wastage that we've had. Tim, we need an inquiry done as soon as possible, Tim. Tim, there are too many issues where this government have been, whether they stop projects and then try to start it back, or maybe never start it back, because and none of us know why or how much it's going to cost us. Land that is being undersold. The hospital in Vieux-Fort that was supposed to be finished, I think a year, they said, or whatever, because in their own report it said that the new building would have taken somewhere around 12 to 14 months. So, I mean, they justified by going to the old structure, which was supposed to cost us less money. Tim, all these things that I'm saying have cost us more money than this government is telling us. And we still do not know how much money the old St. Jude is. Now, you telling me that you went into such a big construction, the magnitude of that construction team, your engineers failed you because of they were supposed to test those grounds and know what they're dealing with before they even approve the site. You have the government entity itself, Tim, which is the
DCA?
how do you call them?
DCA?
The DCA. Yeah, they didn't do their job. And I'm going based on what the minister said on Friday, because I have an issue with the way the minister is speaking like this is minuscule when it is not. Tim, this is a serious issue. This is a very serious issue. And the young man that called earlier on, I love the way that he put everything together. And he couldn't be more correct. Tim, we are wasting our resources, and then we tell the people that we don't have much resources. But if we don't have much, Tim, why are we wasting so much? I just name a few projects where hundreds of millions of dollars have been wasted. You know, when you're going to move to that new site, that I heard the minister said that they're going to maybe make a proposal or something to the owner of the land. But Tim, how are you going to buy that property if you don't even know if it's suitable to even build a structure there? You're still going back to the same thing you started with. You see, and I'm saying that we as a people, Tim, we need to put a stop to that nonsense. And we need an inquiry into this government as to the amount of money that they have been wasted in all those stopping of projects, meaning the highway, the fallen highway to Grozile. That's one of it. The Talvan and Shock project, housing project, and the hospital. Just name all of them, Tim. We need to do that. Because if we don't stop and we keep allowing this to happen, Tim, I also forget, Tim, the HIA airport. That's very important too, because I'm hearing that the guys are not going to build the airport at the full, the first design, that they're going to downsize that airport now, right? But we apparently, by downsizing it, we're still going to pay more money than the original costing. So we need to really look into these things, because we cannot be spending so much money, Tim, or not spending so much money on actually building the country. I thank you very much, Tim.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Amanda, do we have any comments in the chat room to go through?
Tim, I'm having some technical difficulties, but I can access a few.
Okay.
Someone says here, this area is waterlogged, built on the ocean. There was absolutely no way this monster link could have been built in the city. Go back to the original plan near police headquarters. Halls of Justice will be ideally located and will cost less. SLP has given the poor taxpayers severe labor pains. Another commentary reads, so where are they going to put? Let me try that again.
Okay.
So what are they going to put in the property next to the church? Another parking lot?
Okay, we have Pato online. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon.
Yes, Pato. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon,
how are you? How's the health?
I'm great.
Okay.
Great, brother Tim.
All right.
Great. Yeah, by the grace of God. Yeah. Team, I have a problem with even what the minister came out and said on Friday. I'm talking about Mr. Richard Frederick.
Mm-hmm.
And if the first caller did not come out with that, he's not in government and he knows that much. So how about those that are in there? You all know what is happening. You will not let us know. You understand? If it was not for that caller, we never know what would have happened and when we would have heard something either. You know? Now, I have a problem with the way those ministers are running the country. But I have a bigger problem with the followers. Because they are doing things which is not right. And you would complain. And the followers will make a noise. They want to fight. They will insult you. They'll say all sorts of things. What he's doing is okay. There's not a problem in it. So as they come out there and find that it is a problem, what are you guys out there saying, those followers? Because you never see a problem with what they are doing. They are running the country like they're mad. And the followers themselves off. So it's a mad and off thing that is going on in the country. You understand? You as a minister, you have everything to put in place, advisors and everything. You cannot tell me you all are going into something, and when millions have spent, that is the time you all are turning back and you're talking about Zoe, please hope and Zoe. You are confused. and not letting the people know, not letting me know what is going on. At the last moment, you are coming out with something, and you are going into something else. How can I have full confidence in the other location you all are going on? What will happen? Discuss and make it clear before you all go into what I have to say this afternoon.
As always, Pato, thank you for your contribution. All the best to you. Somebody says via WhatsApp, I hear persons asking for an investigation, but who will champion the investigation? This government will not investigate itself. Like Rick always says, this is a big doo-doo. Still to come, some of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
Lucilec's remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Call or send WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So you could have already got
and dip. 3 crispy golden brown chicken strips, hot fries, a buttery biscuit, a refreshing 16-ounce Coca-Cola, all for $25. Hurry to KFC and dive into the dip life today.
Dip, dip, and dip. Your chicken strips in no dip. Dip, and dip. Barbecue buffalo dip. Ranch, honey mustard dip. KFC got all dips.
Order now at kfcslu.com or WhatsApp 484-0400. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
I've seen you here before, and I have something special just for you. What have we here? Happy housewarming to me? That's the MNC Home Depot View card. You'll earn points every time you shop, plus exclusive savings and promotions just for you. Just me? Yes, just for you. Shop in store or on and enjoy a seamless experience.
So I get to treat myself every time I shop?
Exactly. It's time to reward yourself.
MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Rewards Card. Sign up and reward yourself today at www.mnchomedepot.
Senior Snapper from Thursday, 13th February 2025 and every Thursday.
Lucia, your has got a whole lot better after
After work, there's only one place to be. Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper Seafood Grill and Margarita Bar.
In Cruzley Town, that is Marie Therese Street.
Live DJ, fresh tacos, and island vibes. What more do you need? Tacos for just $10 plus 2-for-1 margaritas. And most to keep the good times flowing.
Thursdays is Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper.
On Easter Sunday, when the sun rises in the west, so will the vibes. Rise 5 in Citrus. Rise 5 in Citrus. April 20th, Soufre Mini Stadium. From 3 p.m. featuring Imran Nerdy, Arthur, Shemi J, DYP, plus St. Lucia's biggest DJs. Plus Soca Sensation Hyper Sounds. Hyper Sounds. Voice of the one, Hyper Sound. Tickets are $120, available at all sell outlets, Mambo's Bar in Soufre, and online at fourcircletickets.com. More at the door. Platinum sponsor, Court St. Lucia. Gold sponsors, Bank of St. Lucia, Hotel Chocolat, Hennessy, Bounty Rum, JP Chenet, and KFC. Bronze sponsor, Heineken, Power 97.9 FM. Media sponsor, Liberty Media. Rise 5 in Citrus. On Easter Sunday, we rise.
Honorary white. Somebody has been designated such, and that person is an individual who hopefully will be contesting the island's next general election, God spare. Who is an honorary white? Where did this term come from? Honorary whites was a political term that was used by the apartheid regime of South Africa to grant some of the rights and privileges of whites to those who would otherwise have been treated as non-whites under the Population Registration Act. It was enacted by the then ruling National Party. This designation was made on a case-by-case basis, as its underlying intent was utilized to select individuals with the context of various circumstances, such as competitive sporting events and diplomatic changes. The term was also applied towards certain racial groups, most notably East Asians, who were ascribed as honorary whites. Now, I know maybe some of you can recall when the certain West Indies cricketers undertook a rebel tour of South Africa between 1982 and 1983. They were deemed to be honorary whites. In St. Lucia, do we have honorary whites on the island? Let's listen to what a government minister said, how he described, how he labeled a particular individual as an honorary white.
Who are you, an honorary white? Okay, honorary white woman. You don't need politics. The answer for y'all when y'all say that, just get out. But it won't take much to get you out. Bebe ka SPU. Bebe ka SPU ek na yole platform na to. Naila, honorary white. I will be there. I will take a bite. I will be there. I will be there. Why you an honorary white? Okay, honorary white woman. You don't need politics. The answer for y'all when y'all say that, just get out. But it won't take much to get you out. Bebe ka SPU. Bebe ka SPU ek na yole platform na to. Naila, honorary white. I will be there. I will take a bite. I will be there. I will be there.
Minister and the host of Can I Help You, Richard Frederick, making that statement on his program last Thursday. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Good afternoon, this is NewsSpin. Rick Wayne, you are on the air.
I want to, beg you to let us use our imaginations for a couple seconds. I want you to imagine a man who has absolutely no faith in doctors, none. And for a year, that guy has been suffering all kinds of pains and abdominal pains and so on and so on. But by the way, before I go any further, are you aware that we still have people in St. Lucia who take urine, they drink it as a medicine?
Yes, some people who would wash their face with it as well.
Wash their faces, and if something is wrong with their foot, they pour it on there. But the one that's even more shocking is that we still have people who will drink a pint of their own urine. And sometimes even urine somebody gives them, and it's female. Okay? We still have those kind of people in this day and age. So now let me go back to this man who has no faith whatsoever in doctors. He's not been feeling well for a while, but he's convinced that the medicine he needs right now is to rub himself with soft candle. You know the soft candle?
Yes.
Soft candle and urine, his own urine. He doesn't know that he has stage 3 cancer. What do you think is more than likely to happen to this guy, Tim?
His situation is likely to deteriorate.
He's most likely to die. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Listen to this, Tim. When our politicians are themselves obscene in language and behavior, you soon have a degeneration of dialogue, and the substitute will be mépris and cussing. That's what's so frightening about what's been going on in our parliament here. It's based not on ideas, but on insults. Who do you think might have written that?
Would that be Dr. Anthony?
Pardon me?
Would that be Dr. Anthony?
No. It's written by a literary giant, our major literary giant, Sir Derek Walker. And last week, we had a situation of I don't want a better word to call it a ceremony involving Poleon John and the launching of his book. You're aware of that?
Yes.
Because you spoke about it, rambling.
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to quote him, quoting Sir John Melville Compton. The things done by politicians cannot give legitimacy to conduct that is normally unacceptable in any civilized society. Everything cannot be debased and profaned in the name of politics. The present standard of political behavior and debate is now at the cesspool level. The poison dropped weekly into the system cannot but corrupt the nation. Of course, this is the whole intention. And like I tell you, that was Poleon John finding need to quote John Compton, who was of another party, etc. Now, you know what those two statements are synonymous in their message, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Attitude, the quality of politician we have, because our politicians are leaders, and they're the ones who cause things to happen either by law or by habit or by seeking, as he says, to legitimize conduct that is not normally acceptable in a civilized society.
So what does it say about our society? That means we are not so civilized as a people if we'll tolerate such conduct.
Well, what he's saying is that warning us about politicians who actually seek to legitimize behavior that is not acceptable to any civilized society. So that your listeners and you know what has happened with language on public media over the last several years. know the things that go on in Parliament that you wouldn't have thought possible. But I go back and tell you the two articles at different times written in the year 1987. One was an interview I did in 1987 when I first came here with Derek Walcott. He was the one who was talking about what happens in Parliament and Sarah. And it's like a cesspool. In 87, he described what's happening in Parliament as a cesspool. And you have, or rather, it's John who described the behavior as cesspool. And Derek said something even more pungent. So imagine that. From 1987, we have been busy recreating the society, but not in a positive way. And the consequence is what we have now. Nobody cares about language. Nobody cares about any behavior that it can be called civilized. It's all insult, which is what Derek says goes on in the House, just exchange of insults. That is the norm. How many years between 1987 and now? So we've had generations doing that now. And in the process also, we accept anything, Tim, for half a loaf or the promise of half a loaf. So the politicians have had their way with us and our minds. And what you're seeing right now, like you get calls from politicians and then we say, oh, how come we didn't know that before? Because politicians have long ago stopped bothering to give you any information they don't choose to give you. And they know nothing is going to happen. The Integrity Commission, which is supposed to be the guardian, etc., right, of our public servants, it's just in name only that I think they don't even have a board, Tim.
Well, yes, you have a board now that has been duly constituted. You have a chairperson. People who are recently appointed. People who are recently appointed, yes. You remember the board was missing there are two people who resigned. So those two people have been replaced on the board.
All right. Now, Tim, all that's going on, all that's going on here, we hear about CIP. We hear in Antigua now there's a big court case going on. There have been admissions of corruption, all kinds of stuff going on. Now, we've heard all kinds of things about our CIP that we will either choose to accept is not true based on faith in our politicians, and we only have faith in our politicians if we support their party, right? So even if any attempt or if any calls are being made to clarify the situation so we can all have reasonable faith in what's going on. And as Bloom Cooper says, if it looks to the people that something is not correct, there goes governance. There goes good governance. Because good governance is supposed to work a certain way. So when we don't believe we have good governance, we act it out ourselves. And we end up with an uncivilized, don't give a damn society. Is that clear?
Absolutely.
Am I confusing?
I mean, this whole thing, Rick, is basically being accepted by the wider St. Lucian society. You keep making reference to politicians. I agree. But they are, Rick, in the minority. Why do you think they are having their way?
They have done the job. Mm-hmm. They have done the job like teachers in a school,
brainwashing the people. So they are They are brainwashing the people.
The nation, Tim.
Yeah.
So their numbers don't matter. They are the teachers of the nation. They set the example and the laws, and whether the laws are adhered to or not, they put in place the policemen, and they determine whether the policemen do what they need to do or not. So all the institutions that are supposed to keep people in check for a civilized, critical thinking society have all been prostituted and bastardized in the interest of corrupt politicians. So the consequence of that is an unthinking people, corrupt thinking people who are prepared to accept corruption depending on whose party it is, and so on and so on. And for that, there's a serious price to pay. Back to the bush. Let us say it was to be announced tomorrow that Hilaire, or even the Prime Minister, or maybe Richard Frederick is in charge of an inquiry into our CIP operations to establish the workings of the CIP, right? You heard the names I just called it?
I heard.
What do you think would be the public reaction to that?
Rick, I don't know how the public would react to that, you know. I know
how
that...
would you react to it?
I think I know how supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party would react. And I know how supporters...
They would act embracing, right?
They would embrace it, yes. And I know how supporters of the United Workers' Party would react. But I would say, if that is the case, that we need people who, at least on paper, appear to be impartial. People are not aligned directly to any of the political parties so that they could have a fair assessment of the whole process.
All right. Let us take the Labour Party supporters who you say would automatically embrace it. Would they be embracing it, you think, because they have absolute faith in the openness and truthfulness of the Prime Minister or Ernest Hilaire?
I will not put it this way. I think it's not because they're nationalistic, but it's because they're just pro-SLP, and anything the SLP were to present to them, they would see it as acceptable. I'll put it in that simple way. And you know what they do or don't do, and the result hits whoever else is in the country who may be not political at all. Not political in any way. It's going to get them and their children. Now let's take the UWP. And the UWP supporters, the UWP supporters will do the same thing. That is why we need an active civil society.
Let me ask you the question I need, please.
Mm-hmm.
The UWP, who would be averse to it, do you think they would be averse? Who would like it? Rather, no, averse. Who would be averse to it? Do you think their aversion would be based on lack of trust, genuine lack of faith, or that the UWP, therefore, they must oppose?
Could be a little bit of both, Rick. A little bit of both.
Well, Tim, if we can't make up our minds what's going on in our country for certain, we will be like the guy was fictionating himself with soft candle and fish because he doesn't believe in doctors and he doesn't want to accept that doctors are trained in science, and and he believes his fiction and his what is the Creole called? Pisa. His fiction, Pisa, and soft candle. If he convinces himself that is more likely to cure whatever he has than a visit to the doctor, that's where we are right now, Tim. And we better make up our minds about what is real, not just our reality. Make up our minds what is real, because all of those complaints you have had this morning about this building and whatnot, they stem back to what Derek Walker said. They stem back to what Compton said that Villain was quoting me. They stem back to that and before. Thank you very much, Tim.
All right, thank you so much, Rick. Still to come, the leader of the opposition speaks about his St. Lucia-ness. But first, we have a WhatsApp message. It reads, I just walked in and listening to Rick Wayne, and he's so right about our leadership and also what they feed to the general public. I grew up knowing a House of Assembly that was respectable and reputable. Now, all I see now is a poor behavior, and I say ill-mannered. When a minister could go to a primary school and use words as Met Bonda in his address to students, and we go about find excuse for him, what are we doing? Imagine a student gets an A in class and says, Miss, I got an A. I am a Met Bonda. What's happening in the chat room, Amanda?
Tim, a comment here reads, PJP, we the citizens have the power in our hands and we will exercise it when the elections is called. And NewsSpin says there will not be an inquiry unless the administration is sent packing. Another comment reads, the HIA project, not a word from that board investigating it. Someone says this government is just a confused administration, wasteful. A comment here reads, when there is no information forthcoming, how are the people able to make informed decisions on what their tax-paying money is used for? Politicians stocks at campaign time, but forget the lines of communication when in elected office. A NewsSpinner says they're caller wrong. In fact, we're sick of inquiries where people get paid and nothing comes out of them. No one gets held accountable or responsible, so no pointless inquiries, just a call for action by the citizens of St. Lucia against the inept, corrupt government. Another comment here from Peter Chico. It says, Tim, that is why we as a party decided as a party to continue any ongoing project that is good for the development of the country and for the benefit of the people of St. Lucia. That wastage we are seeing happening must come to an end. Just imagine what the money wasted could have done for the country if only we could put aside our ego, even if the project was conceived and implemented by the other political party. Someone says their illusion and inclusion. The special prosecutor will say he is too busy, but obviously oblivious to his mandate. A comment here reads, Hele can talk in Dubai about what concerns us, but cannot talk to us. A NewsSpinner says that this Labour Party is intentionally wasting money, knowing that it is not them who back. At the same time, they're pocketing millions of taxpayers' money back. What a wicked government who claims they are putting people first. And someone says that this government has not told us anything. When we inquire, they tell us that is not your business. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much. We have our final call on line. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Hi, Tim. How
Hi,
are
ma'am.
you?
Good afternoon to you. I'm okay. How about you?
I'm great. Now, I normally don't call unless I have something significant to share. I think you've noticed that.
Yes.
But are you aware that last week there was something going on with our vendors in Castries? I know it takes away a lot from the topic this morning. Well, this afternoon, but it is significant because we have had, from my information, coconut vendors who normally operate from the area next to the new building, the Anchorage on the waterfront, were being asked to move. Their stalls are being broken down, and from my information, they've been told to go and operate from the gardens as the George V Park in Castries. I've also understood that there are some caravans that will be placed where the people used to operate, and these caravans will be rented out to vendors. So I want to issue a call to the mayor of Castries, the Castries Central MP, and all the other officials of the local government officials from the city council to explain to the people of St. Lucia, the vendors of St. Lucia, why this is happening. Because people should be allowed to make a decent living in their own country. And there was nothing in the news about this because I personally called several media houses to find out who was covering the story, and I couldn't find anyone. I called Choice, I called Hot 7, I called several of them. And I could not find anyone who covered that story, but someone told me, someone who was there, who witnessed it, called and gave me the information. So if I can get the information, then other people can. We need an explanation because you see, the thing about it is, I have always said, I've said it on your show before, public servants, and when I say public servants, I refer specifically to the cabinet of ministers because that is what they are. They are public servants. They are being paid from the public purse. And I remind St. Lucians, every time we go to Massey, we pay their salaries. Every time we pay our electricity bill, we pay their salaries. Every time we use any kind of service and we pay value-added tax, and now the 2.5% security levy, we pay their salaries. So do not forget that they are employed by us, the public. We need to know why vendors in the around the Castries market are being harassed and are being prevented from making a decent living in St. Lucia. We need to know why the fish vendors are being cut off from their customer base. Okay, and I don't have a problem with progress, because I know I will be labeled as an enemy of progress, and maybe I might be labeled as an honorary white. We don't know. But why is it that before this anchorage on the thing was done, why weren't the vendors consulted? Because it's clear now that there was no consultation. Why weren't the vendors consulted? Why wasn't a proper plan put in place for them so that they can be relocated or upgraded or whatever it is? Okay, as now back to your about the halls of justice. I am still not certain that the new location for the halls of justice is where that Judah lot, that Gaiety lot. I am still not certain, and I am still not confident that this lot, but that construction in that area will not still cause structural damage to the church. Okay? Because it's still in close proximity. Don't you agree, Tim?
Yes, it is.
Exactly. So, how do we know the area will not still cause structural damage to the cathedral? The cathedral is 126 years old. The cathedral is the largest cathedral in the Caribbean, okay, because it's 200 feet long and 100. Also, it now boasts priceless murals because Sir Dunstan St. Omer is deceased. And if these murals are destroyed, how will they be replaced? Who is going to replace them? This is a huge part of our natural history that is just going, and so many things are happening. Tim, are you aware? Have you noticed that the original carriageway in front of the House of Parliament was destroyed and turned into a parking lot?
Yeah, some changes were made.
Yes, nobody was consulted. This is a piece of our history. There are so many historical treasures that are just disappearing in castries or being covered up, and we're not even noticing it. It's like our history is being erased. So I need the councillors, because the Castries City Council now has councilmen. We have a mayor. We have an MP who is very vocal, but he's never vocal about the things that the people need to know. I would like Mr. Richard Frederick.
I think the MP did a live. He did a live over the weekend. It might have been either Saturday or Sunday, addressing that particular issue. And he made reference to the area being the area being very unsightly. And definitely he wanted to basically improve the state of the area. And then he would have constructed, I think, what is referred to as the caravans, or set up some huts or canteens there for people to operate. But he also made reference to the fact that the coconut vendors, they're leaving the coconut husk and other things there, and it was so unsightly that was unacceptable. But I think at some point, you need to incorporate those people, assist them to upgrade. And, they could be part of that particular project in that part of the capital. You there? Hello?
Yes, I'm there. I didn't. Yes, you cut out for a while, Tim. I didn't hear you.
But what I'm saying is that the MP did a live, and he basically lamented the unsightly state of that particular area, and he said that he would have constructed some huts there where vendors can operate. But I don't think he made any reference to the vendors and incorporating them into the whole project.
Exactly. Where the vendors earn their living. If you are going to upgrade and you're going to provide a better ambience and fix things, that's fine. Progress is great. We want progress. But we want progress where we are included. And I've realized for some time that when these people decide to do things for progress, it's for their own posterity. It has nothing to do with the people who are affected. They are not affected. It almost seems as if they dream of stuff and they just come and impose it, and then they don't care who it affects. Now, I might be judging wrong, but this is my perception of what is going on in the city. And I'm sure there are other people who agree with me. I heard the first caller who spoke about who highlighted so many things, and so many parts of what he was saying jumped out at me from John Compton's Quadrant Economic Plan. I'm sure you've heard of that, Tim, as a journalist.
Yes.
So there were so many things that he said that are in that plan. You understand? I honestly believe that these politicians are doing things for their own posterity. That Halls of Justice, that was not for the legal fraternity. That was for the SLP to say, we did this. This is what we did. That's how I see it. That is my perception. And it is up to them to change that perception and provide clarity. Thank you very much for your
All right.
for your
Thank
time.
you so much.
Steve.
And finally, let's say from the leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Alan Chasney, speaking about his St. Lucian-ness.
The other thing that they sold too many St. Lucians on is on racism. When I was director of tourism, well, actually, let me go back. When I was playing basketball for St. Lucia, and I became the captain of the basketball team, I was not a white man. I was a Lucian. When my father came back home and opened up the grocery stores and was employing thousands of St. Lucians, Chasneys were not white. They were okay. When the Labour Party made my father the chairman of Invest St. Lucia and made him an ambassador, was it because he was a white man? Or because his son was a white man? Or because he was married to a white woman? No. When they had a prime minister whose father was a white man, that was okay. Ernest Hilaire has not told you all who his father is, but I know who his father is. But understand, notwithstanding all of that information, and that despite going to school, I lived in Puerto Rico. Guess where I came back? I came back to St. Lucia. When I left and I went to go to school in Canada, and yes, I went to school in Canada. Guess what? I came back to St. Lucia. When I went to university in Washington, D.C., and got a job and learned more, guess where I came back to? St. Lucia. When it was time for me to make an investment and raise my children, guess where I did it? In St. Lucia. And yet still, too many St. Lucians, too many, remain silent when people in Parliament, members of the Labour Party, want to make racist remarks, and the biggest one being El Guapo himself. He was the one who said that Kenny Anthony was a white man. He's the one who said Kenny Anthony came from a Massa family. Because that is the only way he knows how to bring people down in our country, is to bring racism to the table. We have to accept there are many people in St. Lucia who come from mixed races. We have Indians in St. Lucia. We have mulattoes in St. Lucia. We have some mulattoes who look more white than they look black. And we have some people who look more black, but yet one of their parents is white. I grew up in a St. Lucia where I was embraced. And I was never told I was not a St. Lucian. But because of that, it planted the seeds of doubt in people's minds. I am hoping that many St. Lucians now can look back at what happened and know which way they want to go forward. Alan Chasney and the Chasney family are St. Lucians. And like what my song says, Action speaks louder than words. Here I am in St. Lucia. Deal with it. Deal with my policies. That's what I want you to challenge me on. Deal with my ambition for St. Lucians. Challenge me on that. But don't come here and challenge me on the color of my skin. Because when you cut me, I am more Lucian than a lot of other Lucians.
Speaking during the United Workers' Party's Sunday Live yesterday, the leader of the opposition and political leader of the UWP, Mr. Alan Shasney, finally, our NewsSpin news of the day reads, Haitians fear the imminent fall of Port-au-Prince to rebel gangs. Haitians fear the imminent fall of Port-au-Prince to rebel gangs. And our question of the day, why no initial statement on the possible change of location for the halls of justice? The NewsSpin question of the day reads, why no initial statement on the possible change of location for the halls of justice? This has been another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.